But I'm telling you, if you lead with that, it will damage the relationship.
Okay, so question is from Marie-Eve Gagny.
I'm guessing it's Gagne.
Oh, how do you know?
Because I used to play soccer on Gagne Field.
Wow. All right.
It looks like it's spelled Gagny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I'm so bad with names. Anyway, just shoot me a weird name and I'll butcher it even more. I'm surprised I don't mess up John. So my partner and I both watch Impact Theory and we watch Relationship Theory together every week.
Wow.
We constantly talk about our endeavors and big goals, but then he fails to take action. So week after week, he stays in the same situation and does not advance towards these goals while I progress. How do I empower him to take more action?
Wow.
That's an awesome question.
Hey, they're going to be listening to this together, right?
Yeah, which is actually great.
Yeah, no. That's amazing. So first of all, what an incredible step that you wrote the question knowing that you guys are going to hear it together. So that, like, I have mad respect for that. And if so, in fact, I'm going to tell you right now, everything is my fault. So you guys both need to be thinking about that. So they've got to come together and assess, like, in fact, as you were reading the question, I thought what she needs to do is reward him for, like, even a hint of taking motion, direction in the way that she wants him to go. She's got to reward it, because right now it's like I can hear in the words that she's choosing that it's like they're starting, like she's getting frustrated. There's probably some resentment starting to build up, which is like insanely dangerous in a relationship. So if she feels like, yeah, motherfucker, you should be doing this, which I understand, but that's not going to serve her. So it really comes down to knowing when to use the carrot and when to use the stick. And if he hasn't been going first, always, whenever you can do it through reward, do it through reward, because they feel that like wonderful, warm sensation about the person that's rewarding them. But when reward doesn't work, and you often say that I'm a big fan of tough love, and the hilarious thing, I only use tough love because you'll fucking resist the like encouragement forever.
In fact,
and then finally I get so fucking fed up that I'm like, and then I do tough love. And because I know you so well that it's like, this isn't going to work until I like kick her in the ass. Like it drives me nuts because I don't like that. I would much,
you have to give me tough
yes, love. Like I would much rather reward our way forward, right?
Yeah.
Like that is like, that's just always where I'm coming from. In fact, you and I had a meeting yesterday with a vendor of ours, and they're basically, we had gotten to the point where we're like, they're not doing a good enough job. And so we sat them down and we were like, look, this, boom, 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 boom. And the thing they said was, basically they were surprised and that they wanted us to give that more aggressive feedback all along the way. And I felt like we'd been pretty on the nose. So it's fascinating to me. Like there is a like demarcation line between, hey, I'm really, I'm being direct with you, but I'm doing it in a way where I'm trying not to trigger your emotions. And then sometimes you just have to trigger people's emotions because they don't hear it until that point. But I'm telling you, if you lead with that, it will damage the relationship. So you've got to like, so think of it as deposits and withdrawals. So people are, it's something like 5 times more likely to remember a negative thing that you say than a positive thing. So you've got to keep that ratio right. So even just to hold balance is a 1 to 5. So 5 attaboys for every one, like, what the fuck are you doing? So, and I hope you understand that asking the very question, unless he's really in the place to receive it, and I have no idea, like, this is something that drives you crazy about me. I'm always looking for that right moment where I can tell they're actually going to hear me, and I'll be able to say it in like a positive, warm, kind way, but they're really going to hear me right now at this moment. And we all go through those moments, right? Where it's just like, you're so fucking receptive to that. You're in a great mood. You're like maybe coming off of a win. And it also is related to that thing that you want to talk about, right? So at that moment, it's like, wow, you've really done a great job. I can see like you're feeling confident. Your defenses are lower. And I can say it in a way where you're really going to hear it and feel it and know that I'm coming from a great fucking place. And so like, here it is. So if he's not in that place, then chances are this is one of your withdrawals. And merely asking the question, right, it's going to sting and it's going to get his attention, which is awesome. But now it's like you have to understand that you've got to meet that. Like you've got to be gracious if he has a reaction. So it's like you can't then just hammer, hammer, hammer. And that's where I'll get myself in trouble sometimes with you, is I've tried to reward my way to getting your attention, to get you to make a change. Finally, I'm just so fed up that I then push back and I do the tough love. But then I want to just hammer, hammer, hammer on tough love until you do what like is clear needs to be done. And that's a stupid strategy.
But here's the problem. I recognize I've trained you to be like that.
Yeah. There have been times where I literally want to say, like, in fact, the other day there was something and like I was fed up. And so I was like, fucking just do whatever. And I could see, like, even though you were arguing, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's crazy. Why would I do that? I'm like, I know she's going to do it now. And so, and do you remember me saying, I was like, actually don't go do what I just asked you to do, because you're just reinforcing in me to like immediately go to the punishment.
And that's
like, I feel like this is fascinating for you and I, but I worry this isn't like help them for a second.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just going off what you're saying and everything you said, I completely agree with. Reward. You need to talk about what that reward looks like. Right? Because again, like you sometimes give the gift that you want to receive, not the gift that they actually want to receive. And that's one thing. The book Captivate by Vanessa Van Edwards was amazing. We did it with our team, but also just as a relationship, we could understand the words and the way that we communicate, right? So it's your words of affirmation, right? Is that right? Is that what?
Words of affirmation?
Yeah. Like that's how
you're talking about... I forget the phrase. So we'll run with that.
Yeah. So basically, for you,
I like words. My love language
sure.
is words of affirmation.
Yeah. So,
don't make me a pizza. Don't.
Right, and you appreciate it, but it's 100%. Not your interpretation of wow. I feel like I've been appreciated. So you are the pat on the back, right? Tell me I did a good job, or like, what did you enjoy? Like, what did you like that I said? Blah blah blah. But I'm not like that. Like you boiling the kettle for me, and I know I keep talking about this, but it literally has like changed how I feel every morning.
Wow,
it's act of service, and I think it's because you're so busy, but also it's actually being close to you. But it is acts of service because you're always so busy that when you've taken 5 or 10 minutes to do a bit of research on my gut, or to talk to a doctor, or to boil a kettle for me.
5 or 10 minutes. I know.
But whenever you're spending time doing something for me, I feel really appreciated. And so every morning now, we actually said, you're like, how can I help you out? And I was like, even if it's just like boil the kettle. And now you do it. I didn't realize how important it would be for me, but it really is. And I feel so loved and appreciated every time I see the kettle's boiled. So what is his love language? Like that would be the first thing I would suggest. Sit down and figure out like what is his way of interpretation. And look, maybe it's sex, right? I'm just going to put it out there. Maybe it's back tickles. You love back tickles. Literally, like I just sit there for hours and hours tickling your back. But what is the thing that he perceives? So now you've got the keys to the kingdom, so that when you encourage him, or once you've watched this episode and then you're like, all right, so tomorrow this is what we're going to do. The second you notice that he does it, do that thing that he can perceive as being the pat on the back. And then it just becomes a reinforcement, right? He'll be like, oh, wow, that was amazing. Like if I do that again tomorrow, is that how she's going to react again? And then like encourage each other. And
ask the obvious question. Why aren't you like doing the things? Like, and I'd love to know exactly what she means by, like she's doing things and progressing. What does that mean? Because the biggest thing that we talk about is communication. So she's communicating and he's not, like getting to sort of what the baseline thing is that we're arguing about, or what our value system is,
our
and
endeavors and
terms.
Big goals.
And she's moving towards the endeavors and big goals, and
we constantly talk about our endeavors and big goals, but when he fails to take action, or then he fails to take action.
Yeah, so I mean, sitting down with really an open heart, with compassion, because part of the reason he may not be taking the action is the big goals. Maybe it's something he's not excited about. Right. And so being like really excited about something is just first and foremost like the most important thing. And I think this is where a lot of people fail. And so we just had a nuclear physicist on the show yesterday, and he was talking about how very lucky he was that he found something that he was deeply passionate about. And so this kid creates nuclear fusion at 14. Now, here's the fascinating part about this. His brother is smarter than he is. like every standardized test. And there's this really interesting moment in the book that was written about him where it was like they were the parents were taking both kids to a school for the like supremely gifted or something. I mean, it's not just like smart kids, it's like fucking next level smart shit. And taking them to this school. And they said, we actually didn't think that Taylor, the one who goes on to do nuclear fusion, would get in. We thought his brother would get in. And his brother has continued to struggle, whereas Taylor has become like, in the world of science, he's one of the most famous people. Time magazine called him the next Einstein, created nuclear fusion at the age of 14. And so when you ask him, he's like, look, my brother's smarter than me. Like, I know that. He's smarter than me at pretty much everything and in every way, but I'm passionate. And so because I'm passionate, I have the chills.
Your execution.
Yeah, like I'm pulled through to do. He's like, I don't mind failing, like, because I'm learning and I just love what I'm doing so much. So truly, that's at least part of it. Now, the other part may be deep insecurity, right? Like, what if I fail? And so he's just not got his head around, like, what, like, is she going to love me? And, all of that could be tied up in all of this. So
get to the root of.
Yeah, like you really have to talk through it. And by the way, he may not know. So it may be like a process. He may be like, I don't know why I don't take action. So it's like, really understanding, okay, people take action when they're excited. People take action when they have clarity of what their goal is. People take action when they know what skills they need to acquire. They take action when they understand how to perceive failure and how to think about it. It's like there's a checklist of what needs to happen for people to actually go out and take that. It may be terrible at time management. Like, is he big picture? Is he operational? And so he may like thinking about the fantasy, but then actually hate taking the steps.
Yeah, that's
so
interesting.
like you really have to like figure all of that stuff out.
Also, I think levels of, God, I don't even know how to phrase this. So for instance, you work so hard. I mean, ungodly amounts, like literally ungodly. You stop maybe for 15 minutes for us to eat dinner together and then you go back at it. Like every waking moment you're working. I can't live up to that. I can't do that. And
that's interesting. So one, we probably need to wrap this question, but now I want to hear, like, how do you deal with that?
But
like,
I think to me, this actually is going to the question, because is it that he's not moving anything forward, or he's not moving as much forward as she is? Because I've had to stop feeling guilty that I don't move the company forward as much as you do. You're willing to work more. Like, obviously my
what
health.
What story do you tell yourself about that?
What story do I tell
Like,
myself?
do you make me superhuman and you think, oh man, like he's just, it's crazy?
Well,
or is it like literally he's mad, I don't know what he's doing?
No, not at all. As I've gotten older, I felt more comfortable in what I'm capable of. And I'm battling between the strength of my mind and the strength of my body, because my mind can keep going. My mind can keep up with you any day of the week, but my body can't. And that's where my health issues are coming into play. And so I've had to like remind myself, hey, Lisa, you need to take care of your body. But in backing off, right, in having to start work later, meditate first, like all these things that I'm having to do, I did start feeling guilty about that I'm not providing as much value as you are. And so that doesn't make me feel good. And then I just had to tell myself, like, this is what I have to do to be a good wife, to be a good business partner, to have mind and clarity. I need to back off more. So then it was, you're so amazing. Yes, you are superhuman. I think I can keep up with you, but now I choose not to. It's actually a little freeing because I choose not to. And so with these two, is he willing to put in that much time and effort like she is? Like, are they actually on that same page? Or is she so gung-ho about it that she just needs to accept his limitations, and that he's like, look, I really want this. It's just you wanted your timeline to be within 2 days. My timeline is going to be 3 weeks. And then you need to talk about what that does to your goal and what that does to you guys as a partnership.